Hello, all, and welcome back to Actual Play. I'm your host, Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. I'm very, very excited tonight to play Shipwreckers with these fine folks. Running the game designer and running the game here is Luke. Luke, who are you, and tell us a little bit about this game, and then pass it to Strash when you're done, because we're professional like that. We plan this.
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Luke. My pronouns are they, them. I am a game designer, a podcast host, a Twitch stream playing person, and a professional GM for children in my daily life. This is a role-playing game about one night and one wreck in the lives of a crew of shipwreckers in Cornwall. It is written because I think Cornwall is really interesting, and I think shipwrecking is really... I just have a love of obscure historical trivia, so I wrote a game about it. It's very simple.
Rad.
I like to be spooky, sincere, and sad when I play role-playing games, and I feel like this game leans into all of those things. So that's me. Strash?
Hey, I'm Strash. I use he, him pronouns, and I am excited to wreck some ships. For those of you that are interested, you can find me on the interwebs at Strash. But specifically, I actually heard about this game from a different friend, and I bought it a while ago, and I haven't had a chance to play it. So I have to say, looking at it, it's a super tight one-page design, and I'm really excited to get into it. It gave me these vibes a little bit like a Cornish version of Blades. So I'm kind of pumped to get to be a fellow ne'er-do-well with Sean here, and hopefully Alice if she shows up. So.
Yeah, I like to say this is I have written the shortest Blades hack currently in existence.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen World of Blades, which I think is it's like a couple pages, but it's how do you condense Blades into, like a page or two, like World of Dungeons style. It's not actually a hack per se. It's like how do you, yeah. So yes, this is the first. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what a Forged in the Dark one-page game plays like, and also all this jazz. We're, however, going to probably switch things up in just a second because we're getting in a mystery guest. She's going to join us in a moment. So we're gonna this is gonna be the most exciting and dynamic game of. On Actual Play that we've had yet.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So, Luke, do you want to while we cleverly stall for time?
Yeah, I will cleverly stall for time.
Do you want to tell us all a little bit about the game, how it works, and stuff?
So, this is a role playing game about one wreck in the lives of a crew of shipwreckers on the Cornish coast in the 1780s. Each wrecker, that's you all, has responsibility for describing your character, their actions, their equipment, their skills, their thoughts, their feelings. I have responsibility for the world of late 18th century Cornwall. The weather, the sea, the landscape, the local people, and the wild magic that haunts this desolate stretch of coast.
I heard wild magic.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry, I'm very excited. Continue.
We all, as players...
I knew that was the part you would focus on. I was like, wild magic, great.
Strash, you're going to love my Powered by the Apocalypse game. Remind me to hit you up about it later.
Thanks, Oscar.
All of us as players share responsibility for the tone and the mood of the game, which is fairly grounded. This is not a pulp game. Fairly grounded, kind of spooky, people living lives on the edge of desperation, and for setting and carrying through on stakes as part of action resolution. We play this game basically by doing engagement rolls from Blades. That is the only rolling mechanic it has. And so I think we might just leap into it and get started.
Yeah.
So if Sean, if we can move over onto the other page in Roll20.
Shishwing. There we go. Okay. I think as a GM, you have to move yourself. Maybe I can move you.
I don't believe that I am a GM. I think I'm the only person in this world who is not.
Let me fix that right.
There we go. Okay.
It's all good. Okay. Thank you, John. There we go. I've got what I need.
That's hilarious.
It's fine. Like I've got
We
a
are
copy.
professionals. Oh, I'm gonna invite our mystery guest to the
You have been
Roll 20.
promoted, Luke.
I've been promoted. All right, cool. I'm gonna reload the Roll20 page. Get that promotion going.
There you go.
Yeah, I got powers now. I can see the pages toolbar.
Yeah, you got all the powers. Yeah, and I also pushed it to players. So,
Yep, fantastic. So, let's start making some decisions. Hey, Ash.
Hi.
hey Ash, how's
How
it
you
going?
I'm
Welcome
doing
to
real good. I'm
Shipwreckers.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm just hyped as fuck because I love this game.
You were very good at the sad part last time. I remember that.
Oh, don't worry, I'll bring it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
bring
Sad
Cool.
feels, best feels.
it. Yeah.
Ash, I just sent you the Roll20 link, and I think you already have the PDF. So,
Yeah, so let's do this. So, in poverty-stricken Cornwall, there are many reasons one might turn to wrecking as a trade. What drives your crew? Pick one. Genuine desperation, a better life for your families, greed and opportunity, ambition and social mobility, political sentiment, or family legacy.
I'm a big fan of being really, really desperate and miserable. So,
I think
Just-
I'm one step up, which is I would like a better life for our families who may be desperate and miserable.
I mean, like you can always do the super hack where you just all of them. But
right.
But you still
we're
have to
just
write
miserable
only
and
one
we're
down.
bitter and we're angry about it, so we're political and
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I agree. Well, it's funny because a lot of times you often be like, "Oh yeah, that's our family legacy totally is important." But I do think it makes sense to, even if all of them do get incorporated, to have one that's our main. Like when we wake up at night
yeah, it's really
and they
important.
shake us in our beds and it's freezing and we just want to lay in the bed, like, you gotta go because insert,
Mhm.
X.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think anything except for like ambition and social mobility kind of
Yeah. I'm really
fits well
interested
to
in-
me.
Political sentiment, because like that's one that's quite different to what I've played.
Okay.
Fuck the king.
Yeah, but that might not be, because like I don't think, because y'all haven't had a chance to play this before, so like I feel like genuine desperation and like a better life for your families, I kind of feel like the more like default first play versions, and so if y'all haven't played before, I think that's probably where we want to be.
This
All right.
game does do the Blades thing of like the first pick. The first pick is like a good default pick.
Right, right.
Ash, if you don't mind, I would definitely like default mode. I think we'll finagle another game where we can have some.
Yeah, we'll
political
do a
debate.
reunion game
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
July or something.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right,
and, like,
so let's
I can use my character to steer some of the my other feels into things as well. So.
That sounds great.
absolutely.
Sean, do you want genuine desperation? Are you feeling it?
No.
You gonna help me?
I mean, I want genuine desperation, of course, but I think I can
Cool.
capture that in.
I'm in. You just killed my family. I want you to know that.
I think I can capture that in a better life for your families. Like that's
You're genuinely desperate to have a better life for your family.
yeah, exactly. And that I think that captures both of what we want and still
Yeah.
being like in that, like we said, that default mode. Like,
Yeah.
don't you want, your children, don't you want everyone else to have things better than it's always been, which has been terrible. And so,
Yeah. And if we're looking ahead to the next question, there's an option for you to put the desperation back into it.
oh, good.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So what holds you together? Pick one or two. A loose agreement, bonds of blood, bonds of friendship, mutual reliance, need and desperation, past loyalty, shared faith, or shared history.
Oh, those are so good.
I know, right?
I definitely want
I like
blood.
making lists of things, Sean. It's
Oh,
one
I
of my
definitely
family?
want family
It's
because
Luke's superpower.
Okay.
yeah, these are good lists. Like I want family because family is real hard to say no to, even if you can't stand them, right? Like if you're stuck and desperate and trying to make things better.
right,
So
so
I'd like. I don't know if everyone's okay with that. That's the one I would advocate for.
Yeah. No. I'm interested in shared faith as one.
I like that too.
because like I like the idea of there being I suppose that ties into my like thing of like what if it's a bit political, right? Like
Mhm.
in that it's I like the idea of either it being like the Protestant Catholic divide, or it being like a formalized religion versus like, and this is
folk religion.
yeah, and this is me baiting Luke. Like
Nice.
I mean, the game is already like written half in that folk religion space anyway.
yeah, and I kind of
right?
like it of the idea that like this is that like we have the right to wreck these ships because they're coming into the land where like this is our place where there are brownies and all of this weird shit.
I mean, legally speaking, you just straight up have the right to wreck these ships.
Yeah, I know, but like it's kind of
a moral right.
A moral right. Yeah.
All right. So are people happy with Bonds of Blood and Shared Faith? Strash, I haven't heard from you yet.
I'm 100% down with, but there's very few things on here that I don't like. I was a little leery of like actually being like super Catholic or whatever. I was like, okay, I kind of want to be the weird one then. But if you're like, P.S., can we talk about folk religion? I'm like, so in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love all those things. That sounds fantastic.
All right, cool. Let's lock it in. Bonds of Blood and Shared Faith. It's so weird doing this with a mouse because I've only just got one. Cool. So
until now, Luke had been poking at their computer screen confusedly.
I had a touchpad.
Yeah,
right? Like it's a much more direct feedback. All right, so it is up to y'all, and I don't think we necessarily have to like discuss this explicitly. I think we can just work it out as we go. But it's up to you what kind of people there are in the crew, right? Are you all old? Are you all young? Are you all like, weird folk religion people, whatever, like demographically, what kind of leadership structure you have, and whether the crew has a name or not. So like just think about those things, but I think we can just skip past having a discussion about them.
Okay.
We need now to create a local village or two and work out what the coast in between or next to where the crew lives is like. Villages might have names like Bodenick, Cadgwith, Feoc, Gwithian, Hollywell, Lancelos, Mevagizzi, Pentawin, Rinzi, and Trenarin.
I am okay with any and all of those.
We need to have a Bodenick, I think.
We need to have a Bodenick.
I think that might be where we live, or is that our neighboring village down the coast?
Yeah, so like the basic frame of the game is that you all don't live in a village. You are like separate from, like, you live between villages or next to a village.
Wait, we're village adjacent.
Yes, you're village adjacent.
So what's our like structure then? If we're kind of village adjacent, does that mean like we go to the village, like we live out on like a homestead?
Yeah,
that is,
exactly.
Okay, got it.
Like that is probably a totally normative thing that like, and that might be like it's literally just your family in a single homestead, or it might be like a micro village of like a couple of families living together.
So village represents civilization that we're sort of satellite around. Like
the importance of villages in play is that we will need to fence shit. So
and
like
that's where you sell the shit.
That's where you sell the shit.
Okay.
It's the center of cosmopolitan interests. Got it.
Yeah, there's like 5 families there.
In the period, there is probably like one settlement in all of Cornwall big enough to be called a town.
Yeah,
like villages are kind of it, right? Like,
yeah.
Ash is joking, but not joking. Are we happy with just Bodenick, or do we want a second village so we can have?
I'd like a Gwydion. If we can have 2, so that we can go to the one that we haven't been run out of this time, or one.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like Bodenick and Gwithian have to be like rivals and almost.
Sure.
I think Gwithian is probably. I think Gwithian is Anglican, and I think like Bodenick, a bit of a Catholic thing, has started to take hold there. Yeah, I think Gwithian is like an older village,
and I think that their differences are also, in addition to religious ideology being different, I think their differences are also very personal. I think because they've been close to each other for this long, that there's like old wounds that have never healed. Like somebody did something to somebody else like 3 generations ago, and everybody still remembers it like yesterday. Like there's some
there's a reason
feuding.
that there's a reason that Gwydion has cows and Bodnik doesn't, and it might have been a theft.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finally get a little bit in that like Irish cattle raiding territory. I'm into it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, in a landscape as unforgiving as the Cornish coast, people are forced to know each other. When grudges last generations and paying your debts is a matter of pride, it is vital to know your neighbors. Who can be trusted, who has loose lips, who owes you help, and who will do you mischief if they can. So you're going to talk about among yourselves and figure out 2 good contacts and 1 bad contact. The options are Carantok, an elderly scavenger, Edern, a village constable, Howell Marek, a local noble, Jowan, a village priest, Carenza, a village busybody, Melon, a lighthouse keeper, Talon, a skillful fence, and Treve, a rival wrecker. Who are you friends with and who doesn't like you very much?
Can we have a rival wrecker as our enemy? Does that sound okay? Or do you
See, I was going to say, do we want to have them as a friend, right? Like this weird thing of like they show up tuxedo mask style and be like, don't worry, I've got you. I've saved you all from this. And we're like, God damn it, they took all the loot again.
Okay. I'm down with this.
Like that's a suggestion. Is like, I'm trying to twist things again because.
Oh, yeah. Wait. How about the priest for an enemy?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Joan, the
There we
village
go. There we go.
Fuck you, Joan.
Is not a fan.
Yeah, Joan, the village priest of Bodnik, definitely.
Yeah.
I also like as a friend the lighthouse keeper, because I really like the idea of like, oops, Gus, the lights just went out again. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Whoopsie doopsie.
You know, thanks for bringing me my favorite ale again, and that bread you make, it's so tasty.
I like the idea of like, how did they get the message to us so quickly that there was a wreck before the wreck had even happened? That's very strange.
All right, so we've got Melon, a lighthouse keeper. Is the lighthouse at Bodnik or at Gwydion or at neither?
I think it's a Gwydion. Like
Gwydion's an older village. That makes sense.
I think it's a Gwydion, but like a lot of things, it's not in the village proper. It's
Yeah.
owned by Gwydion, but it's claimed by Gwydion, but it's on the actual coast, right? Because that's where it has to be useful. So
Cool. All right. And then are we happy with Treve, a rival wrecker, as our other friend?
I think
really
it's
like
funny.
that.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Yeah.
Sean, I think it's funny.
Yeah, no, it seems like, I mean, as presented as Tuxedo Mask, the idea sounds silly to me, and I'm into it.
Just like the idea that there's a wrecker that's just better at wrecking than us.
Right. But then like has some sympathy on us.
Well, he doesn't realize that he's a rival, right? Like
The one-sided rivalry thing is a very good trope.
Yeah.
Cool. So Cornwall is an ancient place where superstition rules and spirits sometimes walk among the living. Choose 2 hauntings that are local to the crew. Enchanting voices rising from the cove, the Bodman beast, ships all aglow with pale glimmering starlight, a great dark shape moving in the water, a local peller, a conjurer and folk healer, or fairy troops walking the roads by night.
Oh man.
Strash, if you need to take a moment to just think about your options, you're very welcome.
I actually really like having an underwater monster. So the great dark shape feels really compelling to me because we have to go out to these wrecks and we have to get stuff back. And I feel like that might be an interesting and fun challenge to sort of put in our path.
Did I get killed by the great underwater thing last time?
No, Ash, you killed yourself in the epilogue. Remember?
Oh, that's right. I committed. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you went off into the mist and it was spooky.
Yeah, that's right.
And I know it's a little lower key than the others. I really like the Beast of the Black Moors there, but I actually kind of would like to see a folk healer to keep up with that theme of like folk magic and folk religion.
Yeah, the Pella was the one that was interesting me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
cool.
I dig it.
All right, so we're on board with those 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think your mark disappeared.
That was the wrong mark.
There it goes.
I'm going to remove it because it looked bad. Oh. It's so hard to draw things in Roll20.
Yeah, Roll20 is not.
I mean, I want to like.
Ash has very good Roll20 drawing skills. It's true. I will concede that. All right, and so does the local Pella live in Bodnik, or do they live in Gwydion, or are they like a wandering type?
I feel like they need to be like us. Maybe have a hut somewhere that we know how to reach them, but is not like.
Yeah.
Because folk healer is usually not necessarily part of the village. It's usually like, oh, is our sheep sick? Well, let's go get the wise person and we'll take a look at it.
I feel like it's not to be too cliche about it, but I feel like it's one of those things where you have to like walk up this wet, slippery path, and that like that pretty much only goats can make it up easily, and it's sort of a hermit space, right? And it's hard to get to. And you know, so you kind of have to, it's got to be worth it to go up to see them, right? Like you're making a trek to something serious.
No, that sounds, I'm totally on board with that, Sean. Like, don't worry about being too predictable. Like, this game is all about mood.
Hey, Yakov, thank you for the sub. Just jumping in there with that. Many appreciation. Yeah, cool, so, excellent.
Once we have a crew, which we do, it's time. So imagine if we were playing in Sean's living room. This is the time when we would dim the lights, light some candles, play some storm noise on someone's iPhone, get a little bit theatrical. I would like someone. Thank you, Strash. Yeah, actually, yes. Let's just. All right, cool.
I have a thing here which is entitled Irish Post. Do you want that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's all stop being silly and play around with the lights. I would like someone, please, to read the opening text of this game. Who would like to volunteer to be our reader?
I'll volunteer.
Cool.
Is it the once you? Where do I?
It's the first column down to the little line break.
So once you're a crew, that one.
First column.
Cornwall, rugged coastlines.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Cornwall. Rugged coastlines of high cliffs and sheltered bays. Flowers growing bright and wild on the headlands. Small villages tucked in sheltered corners out of the wind and rain. People here are poor, scraping out a meager living as farmers, fishers, or miners. Hard labor and long hours for uncertain profit, and there are mouths at home to feed. Small wonder, then, that they say everyone in Cornwall, from the oldest grandmother to the youngest child, is part of the wrecking trade. So when the weather's mood shifts in an instant from sunlight to impenetrable fog, when the storms scream between the isles of, is it Skilly and the mainland, and drive the ocean to fury, when the tide and currents drag ships onto the sharp reefs that lurk beneath the waves and the wind drives them into the inhospitable Cornish coast. On such nights, daring folk gear up with axes and crowbars and pick their way down cliffside paths, braving the elements for plunder and salvage. And tonight, out past the headland, on the crawling sea, a ship is struggling, foundering, sinking. And when she washes ashore, you will be waiting.
So,
awesome.
Grim.
We come in, if we imagine like the television show version of this, we come in on a room inside someone's house. We can hear outside the wind screaming by, the rain pelting down, probably like a distant roll of thunder just for like atmosphere's sake. Everything is dark in here. It's low lit. There's like a guttering fire burning in a fireplace. It's dark enough that we can't really see distinguishing features of anyone. We just kind of see shapes. And then we hear from up in the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the top bit of your house.
Rafters, roof, ceiling?
Roof, loft.
Yeah,
I think loft is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, from up in the loft where there's like a window specifically set up with someone to watch for it, someone has seen Melon, the lighthouse keeper, signaling. And the cry goes up from them. Wreck headed ashore. And we see people begin to move. We see like a lot of tight, close shots of like people shrugging on big jackets and hands grabbing axes and coils of rope. And at this point, let's talk about your characters. So, just to talk at like a pure like practical level, how we're going to do this is if each of you pick a color and then just like underline your picks to assemble a character in these columns. Like we can just keep the characters on the sheet, and I think that will be fine. So first things first, each of you needs to pick a name for your character.
I'm trying to find, there we go, the line tool. I would like to play Wenna.
It's a good name.
I'm Eseld.
I think I'm going to be Brannick.
This is a good name. This is a very good name.
Good, strong name.
These are all good names. You all are good at this game. 10 points. All right, so next you're going to choose their skills and virtues. Each of you gets to pick 3 from this list. Born lucky, broad-backed, cautious and careful, drives a hard bargain, experienced wrecker, familiar with ships, former smuggler, good with their hands, ruthless, second sight, sharp-eyed, skilled swimmer, tough as nails, weatherproof, or well-liked.
Ooh.
I'd love
Josh, I know you like second sight, so I will give you first dibs on it. But if you do not, or I'll give everybody else first dibs on it. But if not, I have an idea.
If no one else takes it, I'm taking it.
Yes, there is interest, but not to this extent that I want to deprive anyone else of it.
Oops, that's a little too high. So here's the thing, Sean. If you want to take a character with second sight, I'll play the tall, broad-backed, kind of stalwart member of the crew that's like the heavy lifter and quiet most of the time. But if you don't, I guarantee you something interesting happened to me that I have that.
I don't think like the broad-backed character with second sight. So that's
okay.
Like I mean, I don't want to play that, but like I like seeing those contrasts in these sorts of characters. That's me.
Yeah, I think you play the spooky cryptic characters better than I do, Josh. So why don't you take that and
right. Oops.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Ash?
I'm thinking something like ruthless, maybe sharp-eyed or like experienced or something like that. I think I think Zeld is not physically, I think she's physically quite frail, but also just like ready to fuck someone up at an instant. Just be like, oh no, sorry, I shot you in the face, like that sort of like. Because I'm pretty sure Zeld has tuberculosis.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Like, right. I think that's a thing, and she's like, well, I'm gonna die. Like,
TB takes a while to kill you.
Yeah, but like. Gonna happen at some point, so I may as well just do it in the meantime.
Right. Not a lot to be afraid of. I think Wenna is known in particular for having she's got really steady hands, even when it's like just pouring and rain. So whenever like the things need to be loosened, she always gets like hoisted up. And it's I'm not sure if it's because she's a midwife or not, but she's done lots of she's had to do some being a midwife has sort of been like an all-purpose.
Because like if we're like if we're like sheep farming or goat farming or things, you having to do like a bit of like the animal husbandry.
Yeah, exactly. So while she doesn't like have surgery skills, she's definitely sewed somebody together in the cold rain and pouring and like put them back together. So I'm gonna take weatherproof, good with her hands, and I'm not sure something else, but those are the two that's.
Are you older?
I think.
I mean, midwife can be young or old, but like I'm
not. I think like has like young adult children herself age. So
do you want to be our experienced wrecker?
Sure, that makes sense.
I think I'm ruthless, sharp-eyed, and well-liked.
Of course you're well-liked. Who wouldn't like someone who's that ferocious? Takes care of us.
Also, like, people can't be mean to me. I'm dying.
Right.
Oh, you milk that? Nice.
Oh yeah. She's ruthless. She's like.
We could also use somebody who drives hard bargains, because that definitely come in handy.
I was choosing between like that was the one that I couldn't choose because I could only pick 3. So yeah. I think well-liked adds a version of drives a hard bargain that I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that, like, yeah, she probably does drive a hard bargain, but she doesn't let the other person know.
Mm. All right, so Strash, it looks like we are waiting on another 2 picks from you.
I have 2. I took Lucky as well.
Born
And
Lucky. Yeah.
I'm debating. I might drive a hard bargain, but the other thing is,
spooky motherfucker.
I might be the skilled swimmer on the team too.
Nice. Pronouns for your character, Strash?
He, him.
Yep, and then the other 2 were she, her. Yes.
Yeah.
Shannon,
for Wenna. Strush, I don't see Lucky underlined.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let me re-underline it.
There
I
it
see it on
is.
my screen, but roll 20, right?
Yeah, I just got it. So.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, now I just lost it.
Yeah, I deleted it so that I would redraw it so that it. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. I just wanted to make sure we weren't.
There you go. Can you see it now?
Nope.
Yes.
There it goes.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I think yeah, I will take this. And we're just gonna have some trouble with our bargaining. It'll be fun.
Sounds like a good plan. All right, and then skilled swimmer. All right, so all wreckers, we assume, carry the following: belt knives, coils of rope, hatchets, pickaxes, warm clothes, right? All the basic shit you'd expect. Each of you gets to pick one additional mundane thing. Maybe a burglar's lantern, a cross or Bible, flint and tinder, an inherited blade, lockpicks and chisels, maps of the coast, medical supplies, a pistol, a sharp saw, strong brandy, sturdy shoes, or tobacco.
Dibs on a pistol.
All you.
Yeah, that was. I could tell you're like, I want to be able to put a pistol in someone's face.
Yep. Ash has got a pistol. Good. How could this go wrong?
Yeah, I was gonna say like this is going well.
All right, and the Brannick's got lockpicks and chisels.
Man,
I don't have anything. Nothing in my hands. Nothing up my sleeves.
No. Oh man, I am so torn. I have 3 things that I'm torn between.
This is
A sharp saw.
Classic Sean.
A sharp, yeah, it really was. It really is. A sharp straw, a strong brandy, and medical supplies. Like
If you're a midwife, medical supplies might be a thing that you actually bring, unlike the rest of us.
it makes so much sense, and yet there's a part of
But
me that's like,
a sharp saw is a kind of medical supply if
It
someone
is.
needs a leg taking off.
For
Exactly.
sure, yeah.
a part of me is like, yeah, if we had nice things, medical supplies would make sense to have on the list.
Do you want to take some brandy for the cold weather?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
All
my
right, strong
speed.
brandy.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. All
That's
right.
the hardest bit I find.
The next bit, or the items.
The
Oh,
wow.
What happened?
The haunted shores.
yeah. So finally, on Cornwall's haunted shores, no one escapes being a little touched by the strange. For each wrecker, choose and create one. So you either have a talisman, a spooky object, and you got to tell us how does it look and what does it do. You have a knack, some kind of unusual skill. What is it and how is it uncanny? Or you have an accord. What is it with and what are the terms of the accord? To help with knack always seems to be the one that people struggle with a little. To give some examples, past people, someone had a really good instinct for like, they could just tell where things were hidden. They just knew. And then someone else's footsteps were completely silent when they were intent on murder.
Nice.
I liked that one.
Those are good
I have
knacks.
a knack which is being able to tell like people's intent, what they're going to do.
Yeah, you can sense people's intent. Cool.
Yeah.
How is that uncanny?
I think I can do it before people like. There's that thing of like where your brain knows what you're going to do before you decide to do it. I think Azeld is like knows what people are going to do before they've decided, almost.
Does she also only know bad intent?
Yes, 100%.
Yep, sense people's bad intent as it's forming. Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds sufficiently.
This person is going to do bad things to us.
Yeah.
They don't even know.
That'd be such an alienating way to live, too. that emotionally fuck you right up.
Yeah, it's the Minority Report of living, right? Like you don't even let somebody do the bad thing. You're like, nope, I'm stopping you right there. I'm shooting you in the face before you even have a chance to do something.
Yeah.
But also just like bad intent is also like all that petty stuff, like people like lying or like shading the truth, and like just constantly knowing that about everyone around you. Oh boy, it'd be hard to form relationships.
Yeah.
Wenna and or Brannock.
I've got one.
Go for it.
I'd like to have an accord.
Cool. What is it with?
Well, clearly, as the midwife knows, I was born with a twin sister who died. But as far as I'm concerned,
I delivered you.
it's like telling me she's just fine.
Oh, that's so good.
So I have an accord with a ghost of my twin sister. And I guess some of the terms might be that occasionally I'm not myself. Does that sound fun?
Okay, yeah, so here's how the terms bit works. You tell me what you want out of her, and then I'll tell you what, like, yours. So you tell me her side of the bargain, and I'll say what yours is.
I think this is just like one of those things where, like, as a sibling, she looks out for me, but I occasionally just have to give her an out, like, something in the physical world as an outlet. Like, she possesses me periodically, and
I'm down with that. Yep.
I'm not always me. That's the rules.
Yep. Twin sister ghost.
Nothing could go wrong here. This is a great deal.
Looks out, but sometimes possesses. And sometimes those two things look like the same thing, which I love.
Totally great and fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes she's just like, yep, you're in some trouble. I'm just going to take over steering the ship now for the next 5 minutes.
Yep.
Right.
Sean?
This may be too specific, but I was thinking of this could either be a knack or a talisman. I like it being externalized, so I'm leaning towards talisman. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking of some sort of fetish, some kind of bone or sort of like crude craft that tells me if someone's going to survive or not. I know that's really super specialized, but to me, I think that's the reason why I let your sister die, is that I was like, well, it was one or the other of you, and I saved the stronger of the two. As soon as you said that, I was like, why did your sister die? I think I know. I think that there was a reason. I think I let that happen.
So
and I think it was like...
My concern there, Sean, is I'm not sure how much use you're going to get out of that in play.
Yeah. That's...
Which, like, I'm just putting out there. Like, it's if you still want to do it, I'm okay with that. I'm just, like, putting that out there for you.
Yeah. I think that's fine. It might not come into play. I like the idea of being able to know somebody's vigor, though. Like, know somebody's, like, whether they'll make it through. And to have that be sort of predictive as well. Be like, that person's going to survive, or that person's not going to survive.
I like the idea of a compass that points towards death.
Yeah, exactly. How far is your death compass?
Do you want me to write that down? A compass that points towards death?
Yeah, and I think it's like in the form of like lodestone kind of things, right? Where it's like I kind of see the way I have a little like tin and the stones roll around in it.
What do they call about? Okay. I didn't know if you had like one of the stones with a hole in the center of it that you run like a rope through. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. I like that. That sounds really cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it spins faster in the wind when I'm holding someone's hand who's like alive and vigorous. And despite however brusque or however horrible the wind is, if someone's dying, it just spins very, very slow. And if it stops spinning, they're gone. Right.
Yeah.
Like
that is very cool. All right. I'm into it.
Cool.
So I think at this point we see, like, if we go back to the television show analogy, like, we've finished this montage of, like, people's hands picking up gear. We see someone tucking a pistol away inside a jacket. We see a thing of whiskey being grabbed out of a cabinet down and, like, tucked away in a pocket. And then we see the door swings open, and, outside it is storming to high heaven. The wind is screaming. The rain is lashing down. But those two things, like, you've seen worse storms in those regards. Mm-hmm. But there is lightning forking in splinters across the sky and thunder rolling. And that is a little unusual. And so we see you all, three of you, kind of huddled tight and close, heading out of the door and down, like, the track to the cliffs, where there is a narrow little cliffside path that will lead you down into the bay where this ship is headed, this wreck. And so we see you huddled in tight to the rock, the wind grabbing at your clothes and tugging at your hair with greedy fingers. And in these intermittent flashes of lightning, we get our first like proper identifying shots of our characters. Who's in the lead?
I think it might be Wenna. She's the experienced wrecker. Unless no.
It might be Azeld because she's kind of like careless, right? Like she's
yeah. I think that makes. I think Azeld makes sense.
Yeah,
I
so,
also could see Brannick too, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so we get our first shot of Azeld. And Ash, what does she look like?
Yeah, she's pale. She's like very pale skinned, gaunt. Like she's the like classic image of like of like a sickly period woman with like the raven dark hair and like deep ocean, like dark ocean blue eyes, and like ripped lips that are like problematically red against her pale skin. And yeah, she's wrapped in like a big shawly thing, making like picking her way carefully down. Are we like heading down towards the cliffs? Is that where we're at?
We're on the cliffside path.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she's picking her way down the cliffside path, making it look like she's being a lot more careful than she is. There's a lot of like putting her foot in a place specifically to like make it crack if it's going to. Then she knows that that's a safe or not safe place. A lot of like like kicking rocks out of the way as she goes rather than like stepping around them. But yeah, she moves like a kind of like a deer moves like down a rocky path, in that it's like like delicate but looks more elegant than real.
Yeah, cool. Who is following her?
I want to say that I'm like last.
Cool.
So go ahead, Sean.
So Wenna is behind. At some point, as we at some point we hit a fence that's been like erected to keep in animals and things like that, but also it's like sort of our cover. And Wenna like pulls off her gloves and she like unravels some like the chain that's supposed to be like locked, but it's really not. Like the chain is broken, but we've kind of hidden that, and like pulls this fence back. And when she does it, you see that she looks up at the thunder, at the lightning striking, and she looks at her hand, and her hand is like blackened from like a lightning strike that had happened years ago.
Yeah,
this
cool.
is how we know she's weatherproof. That like it's like fine, whatever, don't care, right? And so, with her bare hands in the rain, because that's the only way she can get the good grip. She like pulls back the fence so we can all get through, and then closes it again once we're so it sort of conceals our passage. And she's got crow's nests and like a face that's kind of like pinched, probably because of the rain. Doesn't look like she smiles much. Like she's got like these creases that look like she's done a lot of frowning most of her life, maybe scowling. So even though she's not scowling now, it seems to be like her natural face is like ready to like, and she's peering into the dark end as well.
Cool. And then Brannick.
Luke, how bad is the weather? Like, is it raining and storming, but we're able to like talk to each other, or is it just so?
I reckon you'd have to raise your voice to be heard.
Awesome.
I think.
So I think Brannick is probably carrying a lot of the gear. I am not broad-backed. I'm not super tall, but I'm the like young one, and I've got like handles and stuff coming out of my back. And I'm actually like expending more energy than I should be, because I'm talking about how like I'm definitely the youngest. I'm like in the 16-ish maybe like age bracket here, and I'm talking about how like someone's goat is about to have kids, and I'm gonna go visit them tomorrow. Like what we're about to do, which is like grim and miserable, isn't really where like my focus is at the moment. Like I'm talking about like news and gossip and other stuff like that, while like we're crawling across this countryside, and yelling a little too much just because that's how we communicate over the din of the weather.
Nice.
Yep. Cool.
Brannick, if you can't keep your mind on the job, we're not going to keep you here. Because if you fall off this cliff, you're going to fucking die.
I think I give you a winsome smile and say, yes, but then who's going to be your lucky charm?
Yeah, Isabel rolls her eyes and is like, well, you're distracting me, and I don't want to die.
And we do what Azeld says. When it comes in, we are bound by blood. We're family. So I imagine that I am your aunt, Brannick.
Of course.
I believe you're my sister's child that I gave. Like I was the middle. I was gonna be like, I'm your mom, but I was like, I don't think you could deliver. I mean, you can, but it's very difficult to deliver your own children.
That's not a midwife type situation. That's just different. Yeah.
It's so I think that's a connection. Ash, what do you think with Azeld? Where do you want to fit into like the family structure?
Yeah, I like the idea of being of like you either being like a cousin or an older sister to me.
Sure. I think we're three sisters. If this works for you, and Brannick's mom isn't with us for whatever reason.
Yeah, I like
we
that
don't
plan.
know. Like it used to be the three of us, and now it's Brannick in place of his mom.
Yeah, love it.
Yep.
Cool. All right, and I think you're maybe the older sister. Is that possible? Is
I feel like I'm younger. I feel like I'm younger than you because if you're going to be midwifey,
that's cool. So, nevertheless, I've established.
A lot. I feel like I'm probably, if you're like you're feeling
I'm thinking
like
40s, 50s. Like
so I'm thinking like 30s, 40s. So like
okay, cool.
Like like 5 to 10 years difference, I guess.
Cool.
I love that the obvious connotation of Bound by Blood is family, and I love what we've done here. So this is like canon in my head, of course. But at the same time, Strash's brain totally went to, so which blood oaths did we swear to each other?
That is also a totally valid option, right? Like, I wrote this game, of course that was also intended.
I mean, there's no exclusivity there, right? Like, it doesn't have to be an either or.
Both is good.
Nevertheless, I think Azeld is the leader, so I'm like, yeah, what Azeld said. And snap at you like I have for the last 16 years to get you,
So I think this is the point at which we see you in like a really, really long like shot that emphasizes how precarious this path is and how tiny you look against the cliff. We see you come around the corner into sight of the cove. And so down there at the very bottom of the cliff is this little cove, or there should be, because it is filled with ocean today. I think from experience, Wenna, it won't be like, like chest high water or anything. Like the top of the cove will still be like relatively shallow water, but like the waves are coming in and like the whole thing is underwater. And resting at a very, very like drunken angle is an old, like large ship. Even from this distance, you can see it is worn, like the sails are like tattered and torn, and also like not at all like a fresh white color. And it's just like tilted to one side, just like lying there in the water. It's completely dark. There's no lights. There's no figures. There's no sound from it.
You said large, though, right?
Yeah, like it's a big ship.
I think I totally look at Ash's character and I go, big ship. See, lucky charm.
So,
and I'm like, we knew it was a big ship. That's what the signal said.
He might be lucky after all. If this has been lost at sea for a while, probably everyone on it's already dead. Good not to have to fight anybody.
So to pull back just a little. So here is how the game works. Here is what you have to do. 1, get down onto the beach. 2, wade out to the wreck. 3, deal with any survivors or trouble that crops up. 4, plunder what you can. 5, get it all away either for sale in the village or if you're just going to smuggle it away for safekeeping. That's cool. It's really simple. We'll be fine.
Awesome.
We play until the plunder is hidden away or sold on, and you are all safely back inside out of the storm. Good luck. Awesome. To talk about mechanics for a moment, because it's about to become relevant. I have 2 jobs and only 2 jobs in this game, and kind of you therefore have 2 corresponding mechanics. At any time when you have a question about the Cornish coast, ask me, and I will answer the question. I have to do that. At any point, and then apart from that, just describe whatever the fuck you want to do. Tell me what you're doing. Make declarative statements. At any point when you are trying something that defies my coastline, I will tell you not so fast, and then we will negotiate about mechanics.
Cool.
And we will see how that's going to go for you. So, Ash, what is... Yeah. I'm kind of going to call not so fast on Ezeld's behavior, because that's some risky ass shit you were describing there.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna like, yeah, almost dance down to like a position where I'm like at least the same like height as the rigging.
I think the rigging is not... The ship is like in the middle of the cove, not so close to the cliff that you could like make a leap.
I'm not intending to make, yeah, but yeah, something like that. Okay. Making a way down to a place where I can like get an idea about my approach.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Absolutely. So, yeah. So I say not so fast. What do you want if you succeed? You want to make it down that far?
Yeah.
Do you want to lead the others safely with you? This is the point at which you ask for as much as you want to ask for, and then I make things happen.
I'm not. No, that's their job.
Cool. All right. I can either ask or tell the table what failure entails. I feel like you've already kind of set the stakes here a little yourself.
Yeah. It feels like that.
I'm going to soften it slightly. I don't think a fall would be like immediately fatal, like, oh, you hit a sharp thing and just like die. But I think a fall here means a fall into like deep water near rocks, which like is a bad fucking situation.
I think the thing is that I've seen people, die from it, right? Like,
yeah. So I think, if you fail, you're going to fall into the water, and you will be in the water where it is dark and cold near the rocks, and it will be a bad time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sounds good. Giving me a chance to use that talisman after all.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
So we're going to gather dice. You start with 1 die for bravery and desperation. Your life or sanity is not directly at stake yet, so you don't get the bonus die. Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help you?
I'm ruthless. I'm sharp-eyed.
Take 1 die for that. Do you have the right gear?
I mean, I feel like default gear is helpful here.
Rope.
I feel like I'm using pickaxes and stuff for like holding onto the wall.
Are you
I'm like probing out.
Yeah, like a climbing titan.
Yeah. All right. Legit. Take 1 die. None of your contacts are involved. Good or for ill. Do you have a talisman, knack, or a cord that helps you?
No, I don't think so.
You don't, but nothing ghostly is about yet. Good job. So 3d6.
Cool. Give me 2
We're looking for a 4+.
Talisman, knack, or...
Ash is coding a sheet on the fly again.
3d6. I got a 5.
Huzzah!
It's a success. You get what you wanted.
It's a success. You get what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you make it, you pick your way down the path, nothing bad happens. You at least haven't found any of the really treacherous bits of rock. And yeah, you come to level with the rigging of the ship. What do you do?
I think I'm going to like scan it to see if there are actually any living people, at least visible from here. Are there people moving about? Are there lights on? Those sorts of things.
As far as you can see, there is no movement and there's no lights.
Cool. Then I'm going to like look up and be like, Braddock, are you dallying, for fuck's sake? And then and then like start like preparing like ropes and things to like see if we can't like swing across Tarzan style.
Yep. Okay, not so fast. That sounds very involved. All right, so
what would we anchor the ropes to swing across? Like overhangs, like rock stuffs, or
Like drive pythons into the cliff.
Or do
I
we want to
recommend-
is the ship near enough that we could throw a rope to it?
That was the
No.
intention.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a ways out. Like we were up the hill still, and you sort
Yeah,
of got
yeah,
down to
All right.
level. But then there's still the beach, and then the cove, and then it's in the cove.
Is it still moving, or is it
No,
fully,
it's come to a rest. It has settled
Okay,
into the
all right.
sand. And yeah, is like
I'm
tilting-
gonna like nestle and wait for the others to get down then.
Rad.
it's tilting drunkenly and like looks on the verge potentially at any moment of just like giving up and tipping and landing on its side.
Yeah, that's when we lose it. Luke, you said we can ask you questions. So
Yeah, absolutely.
as the experienced wrecker, as having come out to this cove many times, do we know any paths? I mean, we know that as Seld was just like, I'm just gonna go down, and she charged down and made it. But like, do we know old deer paths or ways
I
down?
think like typically as long as you like cling in close to the like rock side, like the cliff side of the path, and it's not too windy, it's a pretty safe path.
Okay.
Iseld's just brisky and
Yeah.
reckless.
Yeah. So when it says your mother's not here, but she'll have my hide if you get hurt, Brennick. So let's be careful. Time for your lucky charm later. And she starts heading down. She's like, trust me, I've walked this path before, and like does that. Like starts going down with the hope. She's not gonna like force him, but like with the hope that Brennick will follow her. Like
yeah. I'm definitely like hand over handing and like moving real close and still in better spirits than I should be. Like as a matter of fact, when we hear the like, are you dilly-dallying? I'm like, coming, Zold. So,
yeah, you two make it down, no problems. The lot of you are probably no more than like a couple of meters above like beach, like cove level now. And yeah, you can see like the path trailing like straight down and broadening out ahead of you. And then the very foot of the path, like where there should be like a little bit more path, there's just water.
It's just
like
water.
Gently lapping.
Yeah.
Your estimate would be it's probably no more than knee high.
Okay.
At least here at the top of the cove.
Are there any old is there any old detritus from previous shipwrecks that were like be large enough that could form something like a raft? Like I'm sure there's little bits of tinder and whatnot, but are there any like?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like that's the wood you use to build your houses.
Right? Yeah, right. If there was, that made a wall for somebody. Yeah. Iseld, you got it in you to go wading in that water? I'm sure Bennett will be fine. He's young.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, let's get this. She's totally like, yep, let's get this over with. And yeah, I think she's gonna like try and get to the boat. Like she's just heading out.
Way down into the water? Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if you're going to cold water. Well, I'll ask you when we go into cold water. Normally, is the general strategy keep all your clothes out so they don't get wet and freeze you later? Like pull up your legs, take off your shoes and socks and pull up your pants so that they don't get wet, or is it go out so they keep you warm in the 4 seconds that?
Yeah, so my feeling is that all of you have like oilcloth clothing, so that like it sheds water, it doesn't really get damp. So like it will keep you safer, relatively speaking, from rocks and sharp things. Because like that's the main danger is if you go out there with like no real clothing to protect your very fragile human skin, anything that is sharp will just tear holes in you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas thick oilcloth will do a little to stop that. And shouldn't stay cold, like shouldn't get too damp and too cold, hopefully. And like it's also worth mentioning, like it's not winter. The sea is not too cold.
Okay.
Oh,
like,
okay.
This is not a winter storm. This is just a thundery, lightningy storm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make it onto the ship.
Yeah, cool.
We all make it onto the ship.
Yeah, as I say, I'm certainly following Zell.
Yeah, Oh, I reckon actually not so fast.
I was waiting for it.
Not so fast.
Ash knows how to play this game. I make it on
Yeah.
the ship and take all the stuff, and then go home and sleep in my bed. Oh wait,
this
not so
game's
fast.
like this game does like reverse resistance rolls where the GM does like it's
Yeah,
like
I
wait.
resist.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute now. Sean and Ostrash, because one of you is going to have to roll. What do you want?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think
I'll totally roll.
go for it. Yeah.
I'm the lucky charm, right?
Yeah, cool. Lucky charm. What do you want?
Watch this not work. What do I? I'm sorry.
What do you want? What do you want if you succeed?
I think all of us get to the ship unharmed and unfrozen.
Cool. That sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
If you fail, all of that warm blood in the water is going to attract a thing that lives out in the bay.
Nice.
Probably a friend.
Probably a
Probably
friend.
a friend.
We have friends.
It's probably Treve.
It's probably, yeah. He's like snorkel up and like pop up like, oh, hello, friends.
And to be clear on the stakes, because it's important to do this. I think the storm has woken this creature up already in any way. It is going to be a factor in this job. But if you fail here, it is going to immediately become a problematic factor in this job. So Strash, are you happy?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
I'm totally fine with this.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd like to add one more bit to it, which is just that when definitely we've got I think that there's a outcropping that we've worked in the past. It's already been chipped away at, so it makes a good hook. And when ties a rope onto it, and is bringing it out, it's both if one of us slips and falls, it's something to hold on to, but it's also when we get the stuff, we tie it on there, and then someone can drag it out.
Yeah,
It's
that seems very reasonable.
Yeah,
Cool. So Strash, dice, let's go.
Yes.
Start with one for bravery and desperation.
Yep.
Your life or sanity is not directly at stake yet. Do you have a skill or virtue that helps you?
Interesting question. So I don't think I'm drowning yet, so I don't know if strong swimmer applies. But since you listed what the threat will be, I believe my second sight might give me some heads up or warning to pick out a path that may not be right in the middle of its attack area.
Yeah, I think between Born Lucky and Second Sight, I think you're spooky enough you might get away with this.
Right.
So that's 2. Do you have the right gear? Yes. Sean has invoked the rope. Good job, Sean. There are no contacts involved. Do you have a talisman, knack, or a cord that will help you?
Not at this moment. I feel like if I were jumped by an evil sea monster, that might come into play.
That might
change. No. Yeah.
All right. So in that case, I think you lose a die because something ghostly is about and relevant. So it's 2 die. Let's see what happens.
Cool.
No. What was that?
That was not me.
What number Ash, are you testing code on the fly again?
That's me.
All right, so I think you managed to make it all the way out to the wreck. The wreck is probably you'd be over waist deep in water by the time you get down there, probably coming up to mid chest. This beach starts off quite shallow and then kind of slopes a little abruptly. And I think the ship has wedged its prow into the shallow part, but is mainly sitting on the deeper bit. And the ship lies before you. Its timber is old and worn. You can see up close, the sails are tattered and old and faded. And it's just lilting at this slight angle and then kind of rocking ever so gently with the waves. And then overhead, there's a brilliant flash of lightning and a loud roll of thunder.
Is the ground beneath us, is it mostly rocky? Is it mostly silty? When I'm imagining when the prow hits, did it dig into sand or did it crash on rocks and break the
it dug into sand.
This
is a rare British beach that isn't actually just rocks and pebbles.
Cool. So that might mean that the hull has not been breached. At least not by that. Who knows what else?
So yeah, did we establish like so? Yeah, so I'm on. I'm like at the ship. Did we establish that? I can't remember if I established that I was on the deck or like.
I
But
think you can be on the deck if you want.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm like casting around.
I mean, how
like,
did you get up? Is my question. Just because I'm curious. Did you clamber up? Did you get a rope? What's this look like?
I feel like I clambered up the mast, the front thing. What's the
Prow?
thing?
The prow?
Yeah, I climbed up the prow where there's like a lot
Up
of
the
like,
figurehead?
fancy-
Yeah.
Yeah, figurehead
Yeah.
was the word I wanted.
Yeah, because this ship totally has a figurehead.
Mhm.
It is. It's a beautiful young man, and he's shirtless, and he's young, and he's like strong and athletic looking, and you know his hair is like carved to be like flowing back freely, like he's blown in the
Well, I
wind,
definitely climbed up the figurehead.
like a tree. But where his eyes should be, the wood is like scarred and like chunks of them missing, like someone took an axe to it in like a frenzy of emotion and like hacked out the eyes of this figurehead.
Oh, good.
I think we get like this brief thing that I don't think anyone else notices, where I kiss him on the forehead as I go past,
Aww, that's really cute.
and then yeah, I like hoist myself up and I'm like look down and like check that everyone else is keeping up, and then yeah, I like scan around ready to like waste a motherfucker, but there's like, is there anyone on deck?
Yeah, there's someone lying down.
Cool. I
They're
go
over on
and
the other end of the ship. What's the other thing? The thing that's not the prow.
Yeah,
The stern.
stern.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like get low and like sneak up to this body to like have a look at it.
Yep. And yeah, you roll it over, and yeah, this is a dead body. This person is like incredibly gaunt, like sunken in cheeks, and like really deep bags under the eyes, and their belly is like they've got like a little bit of a pot belly. I think you recognize like this is probably a person who died of starvation.
Are they a person who died of starvation with things in their pockets?
Stay on target. Can't eat money.
Can't eat money.
Exactly.
At this time, I think.
Oh yes. You search their pockets and you find hardtack. Ship's biscuits.
What? Right. Is the stern bit like up a level, because often the stern is like slightly raised?
I think it's like a half level. Yeah.
I kind of like give it the like evil eye, and then like with my foot like just kick it off the like level down to the level below. I'm just
Down
like
to the main deck. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm spooked enough to wait for people to like
it lands, and there's like a sick crunching noise as it lands on an arm that just like snaps.
Yep, cool, great, excellent. So yeah, that happens, and I'm like, okay, and then like I'm like, yeah, now trying to get like a better read of the situation. Yeah, I'm gonna like go and like choke myself like next to like one of the like walls of the ship. You know what I mean? Like
the like those things. Yes, I know
like
the
a
thing.
banister kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Josh. Thank you.
I do that in such a way that like so that I'm like shielding myself from the from a little bit of the rain while the others catch up.
Yeah. Brannick and Wemmer, what's good?
I mean, I think we've climbed up as well, right? Like, there's no reason to stick around in the water. Wenna is definitely looking around to see what kind of ship this was, because that'll determine what we can get off of it and what it would have. So she's sort of examining the ship itself. What is it? What's it look like?
Give me a moment.
No problem.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I think so you're casting it out, and you see on the deck a sodden lump of, like, for a moment you're not sure, and then you realize it's fabric. And some of it is like a off like cream yellow, like once a white color.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it is like red, like a deep, like maroony red, and then some of it is like in this like black. You think? And it's just like this mottled lump of fabric.
Fabric's valuable. When it kind of looks to Brannick and like nods her head in that direction, that we should, check it out.
Yeah. Other than that, like it is a ship. It probably had like 40 or 50, like crew of 40 or 50. Like, it's not a small ship. It looks like it had mounts for cannons up on deck.
Oh wow.
But there are no cannons on deck now. They are presumably still in the hold or somewhere else. Brannick, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, Strash understands that this is super spoopy, and I'm feeling kind of nervous and a little like, okay, there's creepy dead people and large piles of cloth. But I feel like Brannick is like, oh, so what are you gonna do with your share? Like totally like walking over. Like if he sees your eyes glued to the cloth, he's like, all right, I'm gonna check out the cloth. I'm gonna wander right over. Like there's nothing in the world that's gonna spook me here.
Right.
Yeah. So you pick up the cloth, and it's a Union Jack.
Oh.
It takes you a moment, but like there's again a flash of lightning and illuminates, and we see a Union Jack. Yeah, and like the little eyelets that would have connected it to the thing,
The rope.
The rope, yeah, that would have held it to the mast, are like ripped out, like it's torn on that end, like something tore it down or someone tore it down.
For the people watching at home, what is a Union Jack?
The Union Jack is the flag of Great Britain.
Awesome.
And so, like, those context clues together, I think Wenna certainly realizes, I think Isel probably does, like, even Brannick probably, like, this was a naval ship.
So it's, sorry, I just want to check, is it a Union Jack or the Union flag? Because those are, so that you fly different colors if you're the Navy.
Okay, it is whatever the appropriate Navy thing is.
Okay, sure, cool. Just checking.
Yep. I do not know the specifics of British maritime history enough to care. Yeah. It is, this would have been like a warship in Her Majesty's Navy.
Yep.
Or His Majesty at the time, but
yeah.
Awesome.
I flap the flag at you, like, should we toss this in the water, but like mostly I'm just like, hey, it's a naval vessel. I bet the captain's quarters had something worth.
Yeah, right. If it hasn't been pillaged already, you're right, Brannick. Let's go look and see what the captain had.
Where did Zold go?
Isolde, are you kind of visible to us, or are you on the other side? I think it would make sense in the dark that we might be calling out. Actually, as we're calling out, why don't we use that as an opportunity to take our first break? Since
I was about to say.
For a while.
I just wanted to say, if it's red, that means that if it's mainly red, it means that it's a civilian vessel. If it's red and white, it's the Royal Navy. And then if it's mostly blue, then it's done by it's like private stuff of the Admiralty.
No, it's definitely white and red.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, we will find out what the fate of this naval crew was when we come back. See you all in a few minutes.